Sometimes the deliverance that you want so badly, you can only get by going through the very situation that you are hoping to be delivered of. You may be going through a situation and you are praying or hoping or trusting God to take you out of the situation, and the way he chooses to take you out of the situation is by keeping you in the situation. So sometimes you find yourself in certain tight corners and you pray to God about it and he takes you out of it. Sometimes you find yourself in certain tight situations and you pray to God about it, and the help he gives you is to make you stay in that situation. So what you can be guaranteed of is that while you are in that situation, he will be with you in it. In biblical words, he said, when you pass through the fire, I will be there. When you go through the waters, I will be with you. So certain seasons will come that you would have to go through the water, and he prefers to be the ark that leads you through the water rather than take you out of the water entirely. And certain times you would have to pass through that fire, and he prefers to be the fourth man in the fire with you rather than to take you out of the fire or to avoid the fire entirely. And that is because fire purifies, water washes. If you go through mountains, it is that in the end you become an overcomer. And all of this, in the bigger picture, could be instrumental to the very thing or the very person that you intend to become. So the only help that he can offer is to keep you in that situation. The only advantage is he will be with you in the situation, but taking you out of the situation is not even part of the plan. So regardless of how much you pray, how much you fast, or how much you cry, he will say stay in the situation. Even his son Jesus, according to the record of Isaiah, he said after Jesus prayed for help, he said, the Lord Yahweh comes to my help, so that I am untouched by the insult and spittle. You notice that the Lord Yahweh actually came to his help, but the help that was offered him was not one that took him out of the situation, but one that taught him to go through the situation, such that he is untouched. He was untouched by the insults, by the spittle, by the torture. It is because in the bigger picture, all of those torture and spittle and insults were instrumental to what he came here to achieve, and which is to die on the cross for our sake. So sometimes you may pretend to be smart, to employ extra godly, or in the very right words, ungodly methods to get out of your situation. If you've prayed about it and it seems like nothing is working, and then you decide to take the matters into your hands and follow another way to go out of it, another ungodly way, what you are doing is that you are keeping yourself, you're actually fighting your own progress. You are keeping yourself from arriving at that point, and it's probably a point where you have prayed for months or years to arrive at, and the Lord Yahweh is saying this is the path that leads there, and that is why you need to stay there. But because you were disappointed, you decided to find a way, and unknowingly you are fighting your own progress. So sometimes you just have to learn to stay put. You just have to learn to let go and to let God.